24, 36 hours since that game against Buffalo. Are you forgetting that, or are you taking that to heart? Is that motivation for tonight? How do you handle that?
I don't think you need motivation after that game. It was we lost the game in the first 16 minutes of that game. You take 5 penalties in whatever it was, 15, 16 minutes, and it's gone, and you don't have a chance. And the rest of the game is fine. It turns into a shinny hockey game. But the penalties we took, every one of them, like I said to you, they're penalties. They made all the right calls in there, and we got punished for it.
Do you take a different tack as a coach after a game like that? Do you start, I don't know, take it to a different level in terms of handing out roles, cutting back ice time? Do you feel like you need to start coaching differently after an experience like that?
After a bad 16 minutes in that? Yeah, they had 3 scoring chances after that, right, for the rest of the game. So you can overreact to it, or you look at it, you look at the whole game, okay, and it was ugly in a lot of ways. It was from our goaltenders all the way out. We weren't ready to start. That's part of my responsibility, no question. But when you look at, you give 3 scoring chances in the last 2 periods, and again, the game is over. I get that. So it's not like you're hanging your hat on the last 2 periods. You got to be real careful there. And with what we got right now, and we're a young group, and we're finding our ways, and the inconsistencies, we got to stop the bleeding. And we got a real good team tonight. We got to be real sharp coming out of the gates here and make sure we execute.
Just to follow up on that, Brad, you do have a young group, so how do you make sure that the response is the correct one? Eric Goodbranson said it's going to burn for a while. I guess you want to make it burn in the right way, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this isn't where you accept it and go, it's okay. It's not okay. They met after the game. And the thing about meeting after a game and the rawness and emotion of it, you got to be really careful with that too, and how you say it and the context in which it's said. And so that's why most times I don't address the team, because you're hot, there's stuff going on. You take a breath, you look at the video. I did the video, most of it the night right after the game, because you're looking for answers. How do I help this group? All right, so we know we're depleted. We know we've got a tough road ahead of us, but you got to help them. What are the answers? How are we going to get through this? And we got some good teams that are coming. So it's not that you move by it and go, it's okay. You go, we need answers. And no one's waiting for you and feeling sorry for you. You got to find answers within this group.
And obviously tonight we got Calgary in. We know what that means to Johnny Gaudreau. How do you expect that to impact his motivation, his line's motivation? Really, everybody's kind of pulling for him with his old team in town.
Yeah, this whole the Gaudreau thing with him making a decision, like we've been through it here with Columbus, okay, and it sucks when you lose a guy and that's part of hockey. The thing with the CBA, you have an opportunity to make that decision, and he's been very, very open and honest about how he made that decision, whether people like it or not. He chose a destination, that was that. Like I said to you before, I have New York teams that are booing him because he didn't sign there. I've never seen like it. 3 teams we go to the East Coast and they're booing him because he didn't sign there. So the Matty didn't sign, the Matty did sign. It's amazing to me. But that's all, it falls on the CBA. That's what it is. And we've gone through it, disappointment and some good times when they did sign. So Johnny's been great for us. And I know he won't say it. Yeah, it's an important game. It's against your old team, and especially the first one. He's there for a long time, and I'm sure his guys they'll be behind him tonight.
Will it impact the temperature of the game, do you think?
Oh, I don't know about that. I just think we don't see each other that much, We'll see what happens, but we're just going to try to get 2 points.
For those of us in from Calgary, can you just give us your impressions of Johnny and maybe what you've kind of learned about him so far?
Yeah, well, he's come as advertised. I mean, you coach against him for a long time, and not as much because he's in the other conference, but, the things that he can do at pace, he can turn on a dime, forehand, backhand, and he makes other players better around him, and he's done a good job with us, especially through everything we've gone through. And, we've had a full lineup 2-3 times of what it should look like, and he's got 28 points or something in 25 games. He's been productive. He's made players around him better. Is there spots where he could probably be better? Go through all our lineup and do that. But he's done a heck of a job for us in a real tough circumstance. And he's a quiet kid. Getting to know him still now. He doesn't give you a lot, but as you get to know him, He's got a real good dry sense of humor. He's got a passion for the game. He loves to play, and I think he's done an excellent job here for us.
Any lineup changes tonight?
Yeah, we have Corpy's going to go in on the goalie, and then Christensen will be going in here tonight for Bayreuth.
Looks like you had Line and Gaudreau separated in the rushes this morning. What does it give you to have them on two separate lines?
For the morning? Nothing for the morning. It doesn't give me anything, but we'll see tonight what I'm going to do.
Julian in the back.
Game time.
Hey, Brad. I know you were describing Gaudreau earlier. Is there anything surprising you learned about him since you've had him as one of your players that you didn't know about him before you guys acquired him this offseason?
On or off the ice, you mean, or
Both.
There's no real surprises. I mean, I think the good thing is he's come as advertised. You're not sure until you see a guy. You see him at practice. He's quiet by nature, but he's a real competitive kid. He is. He's hard on himself. Once you get to know him, you can see him. He always wants to be at top of his game. He's, even for his stature, he's not a big guy, but he's real competitive. He is electric. I had one coach before we got him and talked to him. He's like, he's electric, 5-on-5, and he is that. He can turn something out of nothing all the time, and it's impressive at this level to do that consistently and how he does it. It's neat to see every day.
Mercy, did you have one?
Good.
Anyone else? Hey, great. Thanks.
Johnny, have you been looking forward to this game this day, or is this a game you're maybe eager to get behind you?
No, I look forward to it. Got to get to play against some old teammates, some really good friends over there. Get to see a lot of familiar faces around the organization, so it's great.
Johnny, you saw a bunch of your old teammates last night. How was that?
It was great. Played with for a long time with a lot of those guys, so just to get to sit down and have a nice little dinner with them, and they came over, hung out, got to meet my daughter and everything, so it was special.
John, is it emotional a little bit? I mean, you talk about the friendships on the other side. Life kind of started there in the NHL for you. Now you've got a daughter, as you mentioned. You see these guys and you face off. Has this kind of been an emotional time for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it brings back so many memories. I was part of the organization for 11 years and played with a few of those guys over there for a really long time. So it's great to see them, spend some time with them, but big game for us, and we want to get back on the right track here for ourselves.
You've obviously made a great career for yourself despite, or maybe not despite, but considering the height and weight that you're at. I'm just curious, when you got into the league, what were some of the things you were told in terms of how to find a way to make a career for yourself in the league despite being small in the league?
Yeah, it was definitely, I played small against bigger guys all my life, so you tend to get used to it, but I had a guy, Yuri Hudler, who was a small guy, and played with him for 2-3 years, and just kind of watching him, and he kind of helped me in my first season there in Calgary, and was great to get the chance to play with him and kind of watch him because he was a smaller guy too, and it was great to kind of go through that with him.
Johnny, on the ice, you've had a chance to run in and play against some former teammates already this season. How do you expect that to manifest itself once the puck drops tonight, if at all, if it impacts the game at all?
Yeah. Obviously, I think it'll be a little different tonight, but when you're playing against guys you played with for such a long time, it's it's great. You tend to sometimes start watching them a little bit more on the ice than the actual game because you're so used to playing with them. But like you said, I played against a few guys already this year that I played with for a long time, and the same thing for tonight.
Do you try things that you would like to, okay, we're matched up, let's try this, let's see if this happens, have a little bit of fun with it maybe?
Yeah, nah, not fun. I don't think. At the end of the day, you're trying to win a hockey game, and doesn't matter really who you're playing. Obviously, there's familiar faces on the other side, but you're gonna just stick with what works, and then try to help your team win a game.
Johnny, your coach was saying that you were booed in some of the New York cities because you didn't sign there. Are you surprised that your decision is that far-reaching and has been got that sort of reaction?
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but at the end of the day, they're they're in our division, and those are division games. So I'm sure, other players get booed all the time. Sometimes at different, rival rinks and stuff like that. But yeah, I was a little surprised, but.
Johnny, do you expect a little chatter out there tonight, or is there somebody you look to that might be the first to speak up on the other side?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll hear from a lot of the guys. Probably Razzie, the one who talks the most. But they're like I said. I loved all those guys over there. We were a close group last year. We had a special year last year, and it's going to be exciting to play against them.
Johnny, how many guys did you have over last night?
I had 7 or 8, and then I had a few of the equipment staff, and then a few of the media guys bailed on me. I'm not going to throw out any names, but I think you know who you are. Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, I had 10, 11 total people there, and it was awesome. We had a big dinner and kind of just sat around, watched the football game for a little, and then they all went back to the hotel. But it was just great to spend time with them.
You didn't dare cook for them, did you?
No. We catered food, so it's a lot easier.
Anyone else?
Sorry, can I just ask one more? Yeah. This is way out of left field, but the Flames called up Matthew Phillips yesterday. I'm just curious, do you remember what the lightest weight you would have played, probably right when you got up from BC? Do you remember the lightest you played at?
Yeah, no, I'm sure they're in the record or in the file somewhere in the Saddle Dome. I'm sure someone can find them. But that's awesome for him. I remember seeing him at camp all the time, and he's a great kid and really smart, talented player. So I hear he's having a good year in the American League. So to see him get caught up, I'm sure he's excited, and kind of wish him the best because he's a great kid and love to come into training camp with him.
John, is it a source of pride that some people think you helped pave the way for smaller players to be successful in this league?
I mean, there's a bunch of smaller players now throughout the whole league, and before I got in the league, there were smaller players that were kind of paving the way too, and I'm sure guys who are coming in now are kind of paving the way as well. So it's great to see smaller guys getting opportunities to play in this league, and it's even better to see them succeed. Throughout different teams throughout the whole league. So it's exciting, and it's been fun.
Thanks.